I've been working on my picture book, Hattie's Haunted Hotel, which I'm writing and illustrating. I am on the stage where I'm doing all of the rough illustrations, and honestly, it is the hardest part. Started printing off kind of a mock-up of what the book is looking like so far. It just makes it feel like more of a real thing. Yeah, just a reminder to myself that if I keep pushing through and just keep trying different things, that eventually, hopefully, we'll get to something that we're happy with. Hi everyone, I am planning on starting a new series of videos which I think I'm going to call something like Picture Book Diaries. I've been working on my picture book, Hattie's Haunted Hotel, which I'm writing and illustrating, and originally this was an idea, I think 5 years ago actually is when I started this idea. So we know that we've worked on it, we've put it down, we've picked it up, in between other things. I would love this to be traditionally published. I don't know if that is going to happen. And like the way of sort of going down that road is pitching to agents. That is still this really scary thing that I'm gonna have to force myself to do. I'm kind of really scared about like publicly failing, and I was thinking, should I even say that I want to have this traditionally published and that I want to get an agent, because if I don't, I might just end up feeling like a massive failure. Then I kind of thought about the people that I watch on YouTube, and I actually like it if they have aspirations and like things they're working towards. I don't like hold it against them if they're not quite there yet, or if like they haven't achieved their goals yet. I have self-published books before. I've also worked with other indie authors and I've illustrated their books, and we've done like the whole KDP, and I've like put that all together for them and we've self-published that way. I should probably say as well, if you're new, the picture book that I'm working on is Hattie's Haunted Hotel. It's about a ghost called Hattie who is a bit of a perfectionist, and I can relate to that a lot, and that's probably why this picture book has taken like such a long time to finish. And it's just about her running a hotel, and then there's a boy called Leo who sneaks into the hotel, and yeah, it's just about them meeting and the various different things that are going on in the hotel. When I was younger, I used to really like the Addams Family. There was a TV show, I don't know if anybody remembers it, I think it was called Erie, Indiana. And I used to love Goosebumps, I used to love the Paul Jennings books, and then the TV show Round the Twist that was based off those. So I've always loved kind of like spooky things, slightly strange things. So yeah, I really wanted to do a picture book that kind of explored my love of, of cute spooky things. So where we are up to at the moment is I've started printing off kind of a mock-up of what the book is looking like so far. It's a lot of rough illustrations, but yes, I'm just kind of like printing off what I've got, and then I'm making notes of what I need to do next. So yeah, I've literally just, we don't have a front cover at the moment, so I've just written like, this is the title, this is the front cover, written and illustrated by Emma Carpenter, that is me. It just makes it feel like more of a real thing. This is what we are working with at the moment. Some of the roughs are very rough, some of them are like old illustrations, and I kind of want to completely redraw them, but I've just stuck them there for now as like a placeholder. Here is one of the finished illustrations that I'm happy with. Also, I didn't have any Prick Stick or like glue to stick the pages together, so I have actually I have stuck them together with washi tape, and I've like, you know, done it so like that double-sided washi tape trick. Yeah, so like this is one of the things we've got. So we've got, this was an illustration I was quite happy with, but then I've decided I want to extend it. I got a little bit of a sketch of Leo feeding the gargoyles here, but then I've also put a little note saying it doesn't quite look right. It doesn't, because he's meant to be sitting down, but I feel like it just looks like his legs look too short. So I've just written like a little note to myself, like maybe try a side profile. And yeah, that's stuff that I've done like throughout this. Like here I've got this rough sketch of the chef in the kitchen and he's making ice creams, and I'm really happy with this, but I want to add Leo into the background. So I'm thinking I might just move this over, add Leo here like in a doorway or something, and just like extend this. But this is how it's going. So, oh, and then this is the other illustration. But yeah, I think this is actually helping me see what I've got and just see sort of like how the story is flowing so far. Oh, I should also say that, yeah, because I want to pitch this, I think it's kind of like a standard that most agents, they want to see roughly, I think, like 5 finished illustrations. They want to see the manuscript, and then they just want the rough illustrations. So yeah, that is kind of what I want to work towards before I start pitching. I also have other ideas for books, and I'm kind of thinking I might want to develop some of those a little bit as well, because if they don't like Hattie, maybe they might like another one of my ideas as well. I'll take you along on the journey. Wish me luck. Good morning everyone. I'm wearing my Hocus Pocus top today, which has really seen better days. Like, it looks okay at a distance, but if you get really close you can see that the poor cat's nose is kind of disintegrating. Like, yeah. I do like Hocus Pocus. I will show you the illustration that I'm currently working on, which I think is actually going quite well actually. This illustration of Hattie and Leo feeding the gargoyles. Originally, this illustration was just Hattie and one gargoyle. I always had Hattie as the main character, and I had a boy that entered her hotel, but he was always more in the background. But I thought that the kids might actually find it more enjoyable if he was interacting. Anyway, I'm gonna go on a walk soon, but first of all, I wanted to pack a few orders. So I've actually got a couple of print orders, which I'm always really pleased when somebody orders a print, because it's like, oh, someone wants to have my artwork on their wall. And for prints, I don't actually have the physical prints here myself. I get them like kind of like print on demand. So there's a local printers. I mean, they're in the UK, they're not they're not that local to me, but yeah, so I always used to have my prints manufactured and I would ship them off myself. But then I found that nobody was ordering prints and I just had them like sitting there for ages. When I get an order in, I just like send it over to them, and then they like white label ship it to my customers. Right, prints have been ordered, so now I've just got a couple of other orders to do. everyone, so I thought I'd talk a little bit more about my goals and why I want to go into traditional publishing and why I want to get an agent. Yeah, it would just be my dream to get Hattie's Haunted Hotel into bookshops, and I know that is something that you can do if you self-publish, but I just feel that obviously if you're traditionally publishing, that the chances of that happening are a lot greater and you just have a lot more reach. And I would just like to get this book into like as many hands as possible. I think also I would really love to work with people that are like in the publishing industry, because I feel like they could probably really push me with like my illustration skills and just get this book to be like as good as it could possibly be, like this book or like future books as well. I just think as well having an agent would open so many opportunities. But yeah, so having said all of that, I am prepared for a lot of rejection because I know that it's a very competitive industry, and I know that even people that have agents now, they probably had a lot of rejection to get to that point. So yeah, I'm prepared for crickets and I'm prepared for just people saying no. But what I really want to do is to give this a year, to take a year where I pitch Hattie. Yeah, I don't know how long it will take for people to get back to me. So I just thought, let's give it a year. If in that time I haven't managed to get a book deal or get an agent, then I will go down the self-publishing route. And like I said, I've done self-publishing before, so I know how all of that works. But yeah, I am really proud of the work that I've done so far on Hattie. Also, even though I had the idea for this in 2020, I feel like I've actually done more work on this book collectively just in this year than like all the previous years combined. I feel like I give myself a little bit of a hard time for not completing this project already. But yeah, I need to remember that in that time I have like published how many books? I did Mother Seagull and the Ocean King, and then I've worked with indie authors. I did Puffy Puffs Up, the activity book that went alongside that. I did Positive P, and I did Can Babies Eat Sushi? So yeah, I've published a few books in those years. I've also been running my Etsy shop. We moved house as well. Yeah, I haven't been working on the picture book consistently, so I don't know why I expected myself to have had it completed already. But like I said, this year I've actually consistently been working on it, and I can actually like see myself making progress on it, and it feels like something that I can actually achieve. I don't know whether I'll be able to achieve getting an agent and getting a book deal, but I feel like I can definitely achieve finishing this book. I think I will feel kind of accomplished just if I pitch to agents, and also if I like follow up with that and just keep working on my portfolio. Back in, it was either 2021 or 2022, when I was working on Mother Seagull and the Ocean King, I did pitch that to agents. Now this was my first picture book, and it was actually a project I'd worked on with a family friend. I waited for the book to be pretty much completely finished before I pitched this, and I didn't realise that you shouldn't wait until it's nearly finished, because the agents, they want to be able to work with you. So they don't want a finished book. They want to be able to make changes and like collaborate with you. I think I spent like a month or two querying Mother Seagull and the Ocean King. Also, I think it's more unusual for like a team, like a illustrator and an author, to pitch to an agent together, because usually what happens is it will be like one or the other. So if you're an illustrator, or if you're an illustrator and the author combined, you will pitch to an agent. And if you're an author and that's all you do, you would pitch, and then like the agent or the publishing company would want to find an illustrator to match your book. Yeah, we self-published that, and I'm really pleased that I had the experience of that. But yeah, like I said, I only pitched for like 1 or 2 months, so I want to spend longer this time. Also, once I have pitched Hattie, I want to continue working on my portfolio and working on other picture book ideas that I've got. I did mention in another video that I've got an idea for what I'm calling my Witchy Bake Off book. So yeah, it won't be actually called Witchy Bake Off, that's just kind of like the working title. I want to focus just on picture books at the moment and not be kind of spread too thin with trying to do too many things. Yeah, I really want to work on making my portfolio just really obvious that picture books is what I want to focus on. So yeah, maybe in the upcoming vlogs I can share the work that I'm doing on my portfolio. But yeah, like I mentioned before, I am kind of nervous to share that this is a goal of mine, just because if you say that you want something and then you don't get it, like, it's kind of a vulnerable place to be in. I'm going to give it a go, and if I fail, I fail. And I think also, like, if you fail, it doesn't mean that it's the end. Like, maybe this book will be rejected, maybe I won't find an agent for a year, but maybe in like 2, 3, 4, 5 years time I might find an agent and I might get something traditionally published. So yeah, even if I do fail several times, hopefully eventually I will find some success. Hattie's Haunted Hotel is gonna become a book. Either I'll get lucky and I'll get an agent and I'll get a book deal, or if I don't, I will be self-publishing. So yeah, definitely watch this space. Yeah, my plan, if the agent traditional publishing thing doesn't work, then I think like autumn, maybe September 2026, then I will self-publish. Right, oh, I am so tired. Alright, I'm at the stage where I feel like all day I've been thinking, yeah, this is nearly finished. And then I'm like, oh, but I need to do the archway, I need to do the shading. Yeah, I added so much shading to the tiles, and then I've added in this tree. I need to do a bit of shading here, do a little bit more colouring on these leaves, and add in like the veins and things, and then I think it will be done. I'm not quite sure if I should do a background. I feel like there's enough going on. So if I did do a background, it would just be some variation of blue / grey or something for the sky. Really hope that I haven't done too much. But yeah, I am quite pleased with it. I feel like I'm really happy with the composition, and because I mentioned before that originally this illustration was just Hattie and this one gargoyle here, and I wanted to find a way to introduce Leo into the story more. I feel like I've definitely improved the illustration in that sense. But yeah, I'm getting kind of tired. I'm having lots of breaks and I'm having lots of tea. But yeah, I'm so close. I do really like it. I love the gargoyles, and I remember when I was younger we went to France and we saw the Notre Dame, and I was asking my dad like why some of the faces on the statues had sort of worn away. And I remember Dad telling me about acid rain, and then telling me that that's what would happen to me if I stuck my tongue out and drank rain. So yeah, cheers for that, Dad. So I am on the stage where I'm doing all of the rough illustrations, and honestly it is the hardest part. I like the bit where past Emma has already decided what the composition is going to be and I can just colour it in. Like that is my favourite bit. But I have just done this scene which is at the end of the book where all the ghosts and like the kids and the gargoyles and everyone are having a party, and this composition was so hard. But I thought I'd show you kind of like a technique that has been helping me with the composition. I'm drawing everything on my iPad in Procreate. I really like Procreate because I like to be able to move everything around. But what I've done is I've actually put like a white sort of background layer around the characters, just so that when I'm like moving things around, it's easier then to like decide where to put it. Because if it's just like lines, then it's kind of hard to see like what's in front of what. And I feel like when it's like a block like this, it's easier to kind of like see the shapes. And I used to do a similar technique to this by cutting out bits of paper. That was quite a number of years ago. I don't know if I remember which video it was in, but I think when I was doing like the Wizard of Oz illustrations, so that was, I don't know, maybe like 6 years ago or so. But I used to cut out like bits of paper, and then like I could move them around, and then I think I would take a photo of them in the composition that I liked, and then I'd do some like Photoshop magic, because that was just the way that I was working then at the time. Anyway, yeah, I just thought I'd show you this. But honestly, this composition was so hard. But I find if you just kind of focus on like one little bit at a time, and I've done a lot more illustrations that you don't see that have come out really, really bad. But yeah, you just kind of keep drawing until it starts to look like something that you're happy with, and then kind of rearrange it and like shrink it down and move it around. I do also like this like sort of gargoyle bird thing that is stealing a piece of cake. And also I added this other gargoyle on the bouncy castle. It is a nice reminder to myself as well though, when I'm struggling, to know that this illustration I was really struggling with, but then I feel like I'm really happy with it now. Yeah, just a reminder to myself that if I keep pushing through and just keep trying different things, that eventually, hopefully, we'll get to something that we're happy with. I feel like I am making such good progress. I've started printing out another dummy book. So this is my first one. But yeah, this is the one that's stuck together with washi tape. Then I've started printing out a new one. And I think I should go into this page and put the ghosts in properly, because I've just done little blobs. I don't know how, I'm not quite sure how detailed to make the roughs. Maybe once you kind of, if you get an agent and you're working with them lots, maybe you can kind of get away with things being a bit rougher. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is how it is looking so far, and it really helps printing stuff out and being able to like flick through it like this. And I've actually been changing the text a little bit as well, and I'm trying to think about just how one page flows from one scene to the next scene. So I've added this scene of like Hattie and some of the other ghosts that work at the hotel. So yeah, this is the bit where you can play spot the difference, because oh yeah, this page I hadn't even done. I just written loads of notes to myself, but I had this line, the guests start to arrive floating through the sky like twinkling stars. So I had that just on the double page spread, but I've decided to split that sentence to add a bit of suspense and just make you want to turn the page. So yeah, I've done that a bunch. I'm quite happy with the progress I've made with this page here, because this was the original illustration that I did like 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah, and I've written a note to myself here which says redraw the scene with Hattie actually talking to the guests, because I feel like she's just like, I don't know, she looks like she's in her own little world. And I did quite like Leo here kind of looking through the window. Like, I thought that that was quite fun, but I feel like I've just made the scene so much better. So yeah, that was the old one. But yes, this is the new scene. So I was going to have Hattie talking to the guests, but then I drew this one of her on the phone, and I just feel like it's more of an action shot. And then I've just added all these guests going up the stairs and I quite like the way that that flows round. I feel like I've made the stairs more interesting as well because the banister curves, and I've done this fun spiderweb thing. I don't know, I just wanted to make it spooky, so I added that. And then instead of Leo being by a window, I've had him here hiding behind the luggage. And yeah, and as you can see, I'm still sort of moving things around because I've like crossed that line out, and I'm happy. I feel like I'm improving. I'm trying to have more kind of formats, more little spot illustrations. And then this one I'm very happy with. So again, let me show you the original. So this was the original illustration, and I was going to have Leo in a bed sheet and just have his feet sticking out, which I do think is quite funny. But this is what I've done to it. So I decided to have Leo underneath the table eating his ice cream down there. And yeah, then I've added so many more characters, and I thought I'd add Hattie in as well, serving the ice creams. And yeah, I just thought that this would be a really fun illustration to like spot the different characters. And oh yeah, and at the top it says, I better check if the food is poisonous, which I feel like is something I used to do all the time as a kid. So yeah, that is how it's going. So I think I'm gonna wrap up the vlog here. Thanks so much for watching. My plans going forward, I really want to pitch this within the next month. I think by the end of July it'd be really nice to pitch. I might be ready before that, I might be ready after that, we will see, because sometimes life gets in the way and sometimes I underestimate how long things are going to take. I don't completely know what I'm doing, but hopefully you enjoy coming on this journey with me. Yeah, I'll let you know how it goes in time when I find out. But yeah, if you are also working on a picture book, then please let me know. Let me know how it's going. If you have traditionally published a picture book, then please give me all your tips. And yeah, it's going to be the end of this vlog. I'm sending you lots of love. I hope you've had a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye. Hi everyone. So I thought I'd talk a little bit. I find it really hard to say literary agents. I just usually end up abbreviating it to lit agent because that's just easier for me to pronounce. Anyway, I don't know if this voiceover is going to be the best because I feel like my voice is sounding a little bit croaky, but I've got tea, so sorry if I sound like a frog.